Hello, Terry. Welcome
Hi,
to Terrific Terry Trifecta Tuesday.
how are
How are
you?
you? Good, thanks.
I'm
How are
good.
you?
I'm really good today. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really feeling good today? That's
Yeah, a
good to
lot
hear.
better than normal. So,
Well, all right. Well, hopefully you're always feeling good, my man, especially when you're in my company. My goal is to make everybody around me feel a little better. I'm sorry I have failed you so many times.
oh, it's not you. It's my health and my age and the fact I don't keep myself in good shape a lot of the time. So,
Hmm. Well, hopefully
yes.
we can work on that, Terry. Got a question right off the get go here today from Stuart Start. Muddy today. I don't think the track isn't this. I thought it was listed as good today, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
so.
listed as good. So that's a little upgrade from muddy. And if it's sunny, I would expect it would move to fast at some point during the day. Although it's been nothing but rainy around here. So I imagine that weather is going to find its way from Chicago to Philadelphia. As far as your changing your handicapping, how does it affect your handicapping, Terry, when the track turns to wet?
Well, I try to look back to see, first of all, I think the wet track, if it's sloppy, is close to how a fast track runs. And I try to look back to see the horses that I like, if they've got some off track running and what they've done there. Sometimes I go back and look at the race that they ran on the muddy track or sloppy track, that is,
Mhm.
and just see, some horses it doesn't bother. Some don't like that splashback on them. And when it's a muddy track, it actually gets pretty heavy. So, or can get heavy. So, I think it can lean towards the closers rather than the front runners.
Mm. See, for me, I think when the track is wet, I kind of try to look at how the track plays when it's wet. When I say track, I don't mean like the track that day, how Parks plays when it's wet, how Aqueduct plays when it's wet. And if it plays like it did anything yesterday, you get to the front, you have a good shot to win. So I try to be a little like track specific as
Yeah.
best I can be. And then I'm kind of monitoring it during the day because sometimes you see a track plays fast when it's wet, and then you see closers coming in. And you have to be able to adjust. One thing about the way we do things on our show is because we're doing all the races in advance, we don't get the advantage of looking at how today is progressing. So we pretty much have to make a decision while we're handicapping which direction we're going to go. And I know based off of yesterday, try to accentuate speed a little bit today. So we'll see if indeed that plays out.
Yeah.
A little bit later on today, Terry, one of our favorite tracks around here, Horseshoe Indianapolis, is the free track of the day at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. A lot of horses in there today. I think got a good shot to win. That's why we made it the free track of the day. There is a description, a link to the free track to Guaranteed Tip Sheet in the description below. Kindly use that so they know where in the world you are coming from. And then, well, that's enough of that, Terry. We got some other work to do around here. That's going to start in race number 1 at Parx today.
That's right. And race number one is a mile and 16th. It's a maiden claiming race with a $10,000 claiming price, $19,000 purse for maidens 3 year olds and upward.
Pretty simple in terms of the conditions. Something we do different around here than anybody else. Nobody else can do what we do because we have our own magic formula, like McDonald's with the Big Mac. Special sauce. But what we do is 1,000 simulations here using speed figures. This one's pretty, anybody can figure this one out. To calculate our own, what we consider simulation odds. We're looking for overlay. So 5-2 morning line on the Curtius for the 4 horse. And it looks like it should be closer to maybe 3-5 in terms of its, well, actually lower than that in terms of its fair odds on the simulations. We also do 1,000 using early pace to get a sense of what the odds are or percent chance the horse will have a lead at the quarter-mile marker. Speed is a major factor, influencer in horse racing in the United States. And then finally, C-zone, based upon our early pace projections, how likely will it match the best performances for the horses that they've run in the past? And here you can see it's a 68% chance that the early pace for Settle Stella will match some of its best efforts. So the better the score, the better the chance the horse will like what it's doing. Terry, what do you see here?
Well, as far as the speed goes, the three looks like it has the most speed. If it has no problems getting out of the gate, it should get to that quarter pole first. But the eight might have something to say about that. As you said, the four has a nice overlay. It's under even money. It's set at 5-2 on the morning line, and the 8 also has an overlay. It goes from like 6.5 to 1 to 10 to 1 on the morning line. The 7, 6, 2, and 8 all have fairly decent C zone numbers.
All right. And we also do pace handicapping because you have all sorts of handicappers in the planet. So we want to make sure we touch aboard all the different ways people look at races. This is a race shape here. We got the E horses. They want to be on the lead. EP can be on the lead or pressure. P horses like the pressure. They don't necessarily want to be on the lead. PCs are versatile. They can be anywhere on the track, but usually middle back, but they have some versatility in their game. Cs are your closers. NC types are ones that haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader in up to the last 10 races at the finish line. And finally, you got your first-time starters in here. Looking at this race shape, Terry, all of the horses are pretty much middle back. That means if this 8-horse, Shea Decapture, can be your front runner, Loney, would have a pretty good shot to go wire to wire. Unfortunately, it doesn't grade out as your top early pace horse. That goes to Chip's friends, the closer. That's what we call a left arrow horse around here. One horse that usually likes to close, but it's normal tempo. When the gates open, put it closer to the front. As far as late speed is concerned, if you're looking for closers in here, like our good friend Christopher D'Souza loves, you have a trio of them that are pretty tightly knit. Settle Satelli, Coretis, and Arthur's Gold. Top total pace horse, which if you go back and watch the races and you look, because I will put the time stamps in the description on YouTube, a lot of times these winners, no matter what track, are usually within the top 3 or 4 in total pace. Curtius has a little bit of an edge over everybody else, Terry, and we both have it as our top pick.
Yeah, I like Curtius. He finished third versus Simmer in his last race at Delaware Park, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Chip's Friend is my second choice, the 3. Finished third versus Simmer in last race, and his at Parx Racing has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 6, Floridianapolis. He ran second versus Simmer in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 19% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse competing in. And then I like number 7, Sete Stella,
I guess.
Yeah, he finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races. Has a trainer, wins 20% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse captured competing in. I want to play a dollar daily double 3-4 with the 1, 2, 3, 6, and $2 win and place on the 4.
Yeah, right now the 4 horse is your favorite at 2 to 1. Well, actually, the 6 horse is your favorite, is your 2 to 1 Emirates Affair. Those are my top 2 picks. I like the 4 horse as they get themselves settled into the gates, or at least getting there in a moment. The 4 horse for me is a top pick. Corteas, top total pace. It is also our simulated favorite in here. It is making its first attempt across the Parx track, so you're not quite sure how that'll play out, but definitely has the most back class. Florianopolis. Last time it came off the bench, and all of its race internals were an improvement over the race before it went to the sidelines. And the resume says this one will be better in the second start after a layoff. Chip's Friends. The 3 horse has a good chance to rebound in the third start after a layoff. Good chance, as you can see here, to be the pace setter. Speed did really well yesterday. And last time out, it ran the same or similar fractions at 1 mile and 70 yards as it did in 6 furlongs. So that's actually going faster. And then finally, number 2, Principi. Top last race speed, figured by 2 points. And I'll point out why that's important in just a minute. The last race was better than it looks with faster fractions, and it's going to get a weight break today. I'm going to go with the 4-6, with the 3-4-6, with the 2-3-4-6-7 as my opening trifecta, Terry. They got 1 minute to race 1. So I like to read books about horse racing. And one of the books I'm reading now is by Andy Beyer, the inventor of Beyer speed numbers. And one of the things I learned is that when horses have a 3-point speed advantage in the last race over the next closest horse, those horses, they win at about 20%, not the highest number, or maybe a little bit higher than that if I remember correctly, but they generate almost a $2 ROI. Now, the book's a little bit dated. That may have changed since then, but I can't imagine that the rule of thumb of that +3 and above not still holding true to this day, because it's still the same measurement. All right, Terry. So race number 1, it looks like they're behind the gate. They're about to get people into the gates. Just a heads up for tomorrow's scheduling. Terry and I will be back. Charles is on break, I guess. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. We will do Churchill Downs tomorrow. That should be fun. First post there is 12:45 p.m. Eastern. Terry and I will get started at 11:30. A reminder, this weekend is the Pennsylvania Derby. If you're out at Parx, our Swiss Army Sean will be there. Make sure you stop by and give him a high five, pick his brain so you know which horses to fade. And then, of course, we're going to have a wagering guide over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. All of this information, all of our expertise, heck, as much as we've done at Parx, Terry, there's no excuses not to perform well, right?
That's right. So we've got some comments here. Christopher likes race 1, the number 3, and a 376 exacted and try box. And Rob Schultzman says throw in the 8 and the trifecta. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Christopher. And good morning, Melvin.
Yeah, I was thinking about that 8 with that early pace. I forget what it was that had me move off him a little bit, but I agree. The 8 horse has that lone E, as we saw back here. That's definitely something with that. If it gets the lead, if it doesn't get the lead, though, I'm worried about it not holding up its bargain. We saw that yesterday on a couple of horses that were lone E types, or one of the few that were out there to the left, and then didn't get the lead. I think the 9 horse comes to mind in one race where it got stuck 3 wide.
Yeah,
with the inside horses, and I think something in gold. But the 2 horse ended up winning that race. It just never got a shot to get to the lead because all the inside speed made it go wide, and that made the race trip a little bit more difficult. All right, 1 horse to go. That is that 8 horse in there. So that one's looking right now like it's about 8-1, something like that. 8-1 on the 8 horse. Got to like when you have that numerology working in your favor. Looks like they're just settling in the 8 horse, and they should be ready to go. And indeed they are. The 2 horse jockey did a good job of corralling that horse, but the 1 horse in here, Terry, Arthur's Gold, to a good break. The 3 horse, Chip's Friend, the one that we said had a 47% chance to get to the lead, 48%, has gotten to the lead. Florinapolis, the 6 horse, sitting right behind the 3 horse in there, Terry. And then on the rail, you got the 2 horse, Principe, that one in there we talked about with the 2-point speed advantage. Now rounding its way up into 4th place, looks like the 5 horse, which is Dr. Magic. So right now, as they go through the opening quarter in a pedestrian, 25 seconds, might be difficult to run down that 3 at 25 seconds. They go at 51, 52 in the second half because they don't look like they're really working very hard. The 2 horse continues to be in second on the rail. You have the 6 horse in second place now, advancing up on the 3. The 5 horse between the 2 and 5 in 4th. That quartet probably about a length or so in front of the next 4. You have the 7 on the rail right now. Stella trying to make a move up the rail. So far, they haven't asked the 3 to run yet. They haven't really asked any of the front 4 to run yet, so it could make it difficult for the 4 in the back to catch them. The 8 horse is dead last as they go through the opening half in 50.3 seconds. They're going kind of slow. I think it's going to be tough, Terry, to run down this 3. They really haven't asked them to go yet, although the 2 horse right now is making a move up on the rail with the red and white blue silks. The 3 horse is going to squeeze them down a little bit. The sun is out. The shadows are out. They're running down the lane here a little bit. The 3 horse continues to hold that lead, Terry. Question is, can anybody else make a move up on him? Here they come down the stretch. The 6 horse is trying to find his legs here, Terry. I don't think he's going to have enough late to catch him, though he did finally get him to switch leads. He is motoring at the end, but it's going to go 3, 6, 2, and then I think the 4. Was that the next horse there? I'm not sure. 3, 6, 2, 4. 3, 6, 2, and 4. And what's really funny about that, Terry, is normally I go 3 by 2 by 5. And for this race, I went 2 by 3 by 5.
Yeah. I don't know why you changed, but
yeah, I don't know. I felt like the 4 and the 6 were the best 2 horses in the race, but there you go. And in the opener, yeah, it looks like the 4 rallied up for 4th there. So box the 4, you got the superfecta. Box the 4, you got the trifecta. I just didn't put them in the right order in my bet. That's the next thing I'm going to really try to focus on. And I'm open to any recommendations out there. Does anybody have a recommendation in terms of the best book that they've read for money management. So far, the best one I've seen is the Vidovitz book on betting thoroughbreds, the appendix in the back.
Yeah.
You have the Exacta box. Kaboom! That's a good way to start, Christopher.
It is, yeah.
Always laying out some booms there for us, right?
He is, and I've got a good start on my daily double. Boom!
You need 2 booms, I think, right?
Maybe.
Let's see. Christopher has only 1 boom, so that's a 1 boom boom.
Okay.
Christopher, let us know what warrants multiple booms. What are the odds that get multiple booms? 5 to 1, 7 to 1. Where do we get the multiple booms? All right, let's go on to race number 2, Mr. Terry. See what we got cooking in this one.
All right. And race number 2 is a 6 furlong. It's an allowance race, $25,000. And it's purse $32,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or which have never won 4 races. Whew.
Yes, indeed. That's more than a mouthful there. 6 furlongs, the profile of a winner, does favor horses, Terry, that get tactical speed. You don't have to be on the lead, but if you are, got a pretty good shot of bringing home the top prize 36% of the time. Get to the lead, stay on the lead, get the W, like we saw. Almost play holding that. Yeah, it didn't. 3 horse took the lead. Post positions are fair, 1 through 7, 8 and out. You get a little bit of a bonus. Again, we go back to our simulations, Terry, and see what story they're telling early on. Systematic risk. That could be another 3 horse that they have to chase down.
That's right. It looks like that 3 is going to get that quarter pole first, unless there's some problems getting out of that gate. The 1 has a overlay from around 4 to 1 simulated odds to 6 to 1 on the morning line. The 2 is like 4 to 5 versus 7 to 2 on the morning line. All of them have good C-zone numbers except for the 3.
So Christopher answers the double boom question, Terry. The odds are 30 to 1. It's a high standards.
Yeah, it
get
is.
A double boom, baby.
I don't get too many 30 to 1s unless I go all in a pick 4 or pick 5.
Let's see. Greetings from Istanbul. Hey, how are you in Istanbul today? First 6 races today are as follows. Race 1, 2, 3, 4. Race 2, 3, 4, 6. Race 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Race 3, 1, 3, 4, 5. Race 4, 2, 3, and 8. Race 5, 3. That's your best bet of the day, your nap. Race 6, 6, 7, 3, and 1. So race number 5, keep an eye out on that 3 for Nekmi. Thank you for joining us from Istanbul today. I watched a Turkish novella some months ago, and I have to say, you guys in Turkey are pretty lucky based upon the leading ladies in those shows. All right, Terry, let's take a look at our race shape for race number 2. You see a pretty balanced race here. You got a couple that want to be in the front, 3 that want to press the pace, 2 that want to be in the back. So everybody should be about where they want to be on the track as long as their pace numbers fit. Looking at the early speed, again, the 3 horse, not only does it show up on the sim as one that's going to get the lead, but also on its early pace numbers here. The 2 horse, the EP type, should be exactly where it wants, sitting second or third. As far as the closers are concerned, it does look like the 7 horse, Jezebel Jade, will be right there as the closer. The 6 horse, the front runner, if it can get the lead, has enough late speed that they might have a difficult time running that one down. As far as our total pace is concerned, it's a pretty close race between these 5 right here. Maybe you can count the 4 and 5 out of here, Terry, in this race based upon the gap to the other ones. What do you have?
All right. I like the number 6, Emirates Affair, as my first choice. She's finished 3rd in her last race. She has the highest last speed rating, has an early speed running style, and that really should help because she's going a shorter distance. And then number 2, Marion's Grace, my second choice. She won 2 races out of the last 4 starts at Parx Racing. She finished 6th in the last race as a favorite, but she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back to race again. And then number 3 is my third pick. She likes finishing second and switches to high percentage winning jockey.
She's finishing second, but you have her third?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. She's switching to a high percentage winning jockey to try and win one for a change.
But you downgraded it from second to third, even though the jockey might get it to win. Am I
That's
sounding
right.
like Andy Serling right now? Because that's what I'm
You
trying to do.
you are, yeah, you kind of are, and it's not very appealing. But anyway, number one, AT's Moon Maiden is my long shot. Drops in class today and switches to high percentage winning jockey. I think it's a wide open race, so I'm going to play a big pick 4 50 cent. I'm going to use the 1 2 3 6 with the 3 4 with a single and a 3 in the fourth race, and finish it up with a 2 3 4 8.
Walfred Dominguez saying race 2 with the 5-horse jockey Angel Castillo. That's his angle there. Christopher D'Souza looking for the opening double boom. I think if you go opening double boom, that warrants a boom, 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 Christopher. We'll see if that's indeed the case. The opening boom for Christopher on the daily dub on the exacta, the 3-6 exacta for $2, pay $27.40. The trifecta, the 3-6-2 for 50 cents, paid $31.35. And that 10-cent superfecta box for $1.20, you turned it into $12. So 10 times your money on the dot there. And me for race number 2, I'm going to go with the 2-horse Marion Grace as the winner in here, Terry. Early speed, this horse tends to make some pretty big mid moves, kind of what we saw a little bit in the opener there. Perhaps taking a small drop in class in here, and I think the cut back to 6 furlongs, the right mix for this horse as his run at that distance 5 times with a win, a couple of seconds and a third. Jezebel Jade is another one that's cutting back from 6.5 furlongs to 6 furlongs and has a bullet workout between races. So maybe the horse is tightening up a little bit for here. In the money at Parx, 7 out of 12 races with a trio of wins and places. Systemic Risk, the 3-horse, very consistent performer, did hold its speed a little bit longer last time out and could be the one that sets the tone from the beginning. Maybe back-to-back 3 horses going wire to wire. Finally, number 6, Emirates Affair, did run the top last race speed figure last time out. And if it could just run back a race or two, would be more than enough to score here. I'm going to go with the 50-cent pick 4-2-7 over the 1-3-4, over the 3-4, over the 2-3. This is a hot dog pick 4 for me, Terry.
All right.
Let's go on to race number 3 as we advance on this 10-race card. In the third spot, Terry, number 3. What do we got?
It's 1.70 miles. It's a claiming race for a $15,000 claiming price versus $28,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 19th. Claiming races for $12,500 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
So you're going to get some winners here, maybe against some decent class. I want to quickly say thank you. A shout out to Rebecca Pollard Rhodes. Thanks for joining us again, Rebecca, and Philip Perkins, both of them giving us a little bit of love on Facebook with the thumbs up. I mean, most folks watch us on YouTube. Unfortunately, on YouTube, as I've said, we can't. They leave the thumbs up anonymous. They should make the thumbs down not anonymous, though, so we can heckle those people too, Terry. But they don't. They don't even let you ratio people anymore because I guess it offended a presidential candidate. In any case, we appreciate that. If you like what you see, like Philip and Rebecca, thumbs up are appreciated. Hit the share button on YouTube. Take that link, provide it to your friends and family that like horse racing on your social sites. And what else can they do, Terry, to keep up?
Well, they can subscribe to YouTube where you can hit the little bell. And once you do, you're notified for everything that we do, all the different shows. We have all kinds of shows. Foreign Fridays, nighttime shows. If there's special things like Kentucky Derby and that, we usually have some kind of a show for that. And go ahead and give us likes and thumbs up, and let all your friends, relatives know about our different places they can locate us on the YouTube and the different social sites.
Yeah, you see them scrolling down on the bottom. They're all horse race to number 2 day. In race number 3, Terry, the profile of a 1.70 mile winner is early speed. 31 out of 100 times get to the lead, and you will not give it up. Post positions 1 through 7, they play a little bit fair. 8 and out, you get dinged a little bit. So in race number 3, we don't have any dingable horses, but we do definitely have some speed horses.
That's right. The 1 and the 4 have the most speed, and they should maybe be going head to head to the quarter post. So who knows who's going to get there first. The 3 has an overlay of just over like 6 to 5 versus 2 to 1 in the morning line. and the 4 is like that's about 7-5 versus 3-1 on the morning line. So, and the C zones, the 1, 6, 2, and 5 show the best C zone numbers.
Yeah, we see this combination here. It usually is an effective one where you have the strongest chance to be on the lead and tie for the highest C zone, meaning if the Goddess of Snakes, what a great name, gets to the lead, it's not going to be uncomfortable hearing all the pitter pat of the horses behind it trying to catch up. If race number 1, you do, and race 3, you do see the one over here, the Goddess of Snakes, again, a lone E horse. If it can get to the lead like the 3 horse did, it'd be very difficult to corral. And you got that triangle that goes back towards the closer. So the 1 wants to be forward, everybody else middle back, get to the lead 1, and it's your race to hang on. Should be in the mix with that 4 horse, Peyton's College. Again, closer with enough early speed to advance it into the early contention, a left arrow horse. Not only does the 4 horse have some of the best early speed, but also grades out as the horse with the second best late speed. Miss Chamita, though, scoring 13 points. That's about 2.5 lengths. It's going to be about 3 lengths off the early leader, so should come into the mix late, maybe a little too far back early on to score the W. As far as your total pace is concerned, you do see the 4 and the 3, the 2 horses that were simulated favorites on the top with a 10-point advantage over everybody else. Those 2, Terry, should get the work done. One of them anyway. What do you think?
I like the 3, Miss Chamita, as my first pick. She won 3 races in a row here at Parx Racing. Then she took a trip to Delaware and finished 4th. Now she returns to Park Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, so I got a feeling she's going to win this one. Number 4, Peyton's College, is my second choice. She finished second in her last race, received the highest last speed rating. Number 5, Classy Miss, my third pick. She likes Parx Racing, finishing the money in 60% of her starts, and she's won 27% of those starts. And the distance won't be a problem, as she's finishing the money in 50% of the starts, winning 13% of that. Number 6, Spicer's Gold, is my long shot. She finished 3rd in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet $2 win in place on number 3.
Christopher D'Souza says the 1 horse can close and has speed. I agree with that sentiment. Race 3, 1 win place. The 1, 4, 6 exact the trifecta box. And to close out and Neckme's picks, race 7, 4, 7, 5, 1. Race 8, he likes the 3 to 5. Race 9, the 1, 4, 6, and 2, and 10. And just says the heck with race 10. Good luck with that one. I like in race number, we just went through the, you just went through your picks, right?
I did. Yeah, it's your turn.
My turn. Yeah, I'm getting a little confused. I got to go with the 3 horse too, Miss Chamita. This one's been at Parx 5 times, won 3 of them, got a second in the other. Second time off the claim from Michael Pino, and he's going to give this horse a little bit of a weight break today, although Peyton's College is going to be right on that neck there. Tie for the top last race speed. Figure another strong performer at Parx. 11 times out, 4 wins, 3 seconds, but hasn't won at the distance yet. 2 times out with a second and a third. The Goddess of Snakes, the one that Christopher D'Souza likes, could be your pace setter. Absolutely has the C zone for it. And kind of has the ability to close too, as you mentioned. And then finally, number 5, Classy Miss. Very consistent performer. So one of those high floor, low ceiling types. And enough back class to get the win here. Trifecta. I'm going to go back with my normal pattern. 1, 3, 4 with the 3, 4 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hope that it doesn't go 2, 3, 5 for me that time around. Seems like anytime I make a change to the way I do things, Terry, it comes back to bite me.
It's right. It does it always does that. So for me too.
Yeah. Why? So we should just stick with what we do, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's stick with what we do in race number 4, Terry.
All right. This race number 4 is the 6.5 furlongs, claiming with the claiming price $7,500. Purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
All right. Winners of 2 in all likelihood here. 6.5 furlongs. The type of horse that typically cashes the winning ticket for you, has early speed. 29% of the time, they go gate to wire. The rail is fair, so Dadashev not getting dinged there. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus, though, so they might do fare better than the rail horse does. 4 through 7, they get squeezed. 8 and out, again, fair. So it looks like the only place you really don't want to be is 4, 5, 6, and 7. In this race, Terry, a little bit of inside speed could be helpful in race 4, and you're going to find it on the inside.
That's right. That 3 has got so much speed. Looks like it's going to have jetpacks on when it breaks out of that gate. The 3 also shows a very nice overlay. It's supposed to be like, I don't know, 4 to 5.
1 to 2.
1-2, something like that.
Mhm.
And it's going to be 5-2 on the morning line. That's the only overlay I see. Then I see 2, 4, 6, and 8 have the best C zone numbers.
Yeah, it looks like the 2 and the 8 should really enjoy the way this race plays out.
Yep.
Does it also show up here in the pace? So here we have the opposite one. Well, the 6 horse here has not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line as of yet. So maybe you can shorten this field down by a horse. So instead of it being a 7 horse field, turn it into a 6 horse field. Of the horses that are in this race, kind of front loaded towards the horses that want to be on the front and in the middle, could really open up the door for the 4 horse if this handful of horses goes too fast. With those horses up there, the 3, the 7, and 8, you're typically looking for the speed of the speed, and that is Tree Pat, a little bit better than Haney Boys, but not a whole lot better. You can see this quartet right here, kind of in that mix. One horse might try to push a little bit, but doesn't need the lead. Late speed belongs to the 7, Vero Sun, but could be too far off the early pace as one that wants to be on the lead, maybe discouraged, maybe gets itself up for a piece of the gimmicks at the end. Finally, your total pace. Look at this Trey Pat, Terry, 12 points better than the next closest horse. Anytime you cross that 10-point threshold, a horse that you have to have great consideration for, both of us have great consideration for it.
Yes, I like that 3 Trey Pat. Won 2 out of his last 3 races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 2, Haney Boys. He ran second in his last race and has an early speeding running style, and that will help his chances. The 8, Jay Wass, finished third in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 31% of those races when he brings that favorite back to race again. And then number 4, R. Mark Steven. He was claimed by a trainer who wins 17% of the races in the first race after claiming the horse. And this horse has a good workout on September 9th. He's my long shot. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2-3-8 with the 2-3-4-8 with the 1-4-7. And I'm going to finish it up with the 1 as a single in the 7th race. $2 win in place on number 3.
I'm going to start with 3-2 Trey Pat. It is the speed of the speed. We saw that in the pace setup. Has that 12-point total pace advantage. And the top last race speed figure is 3 points clear of the next closest one. Again, going back to what I was reading in the Andy Beyer book. And if you look at its resume, this horse stands a great chance to improve a lot in its second start after a layoff. The only issue for me here, though, Terry, is sometimes at Parx, for whatever reason, we see these horses that appear to have all the tactical advantages and superior numbers, and somehow they finish second. And if it does finish second, our Mark Steven is the one I think has a chance to be the one that wins. He had by far, if you look underneath at all the past workouts, his best workout on August the 12th, and going to drop in class after that workout, and then a maintenance, I think, after that. Jay Wass is running the proper distance. 5 times out, a win, second, and a couple of thirds. Very strong C-zone score. Should be very comfortable with the pace of this race. And then finally, Haney Boys kind of got a little downgraded for me because it just runs okay races in the first race after a layoff. Certainly going to go fast early. I think this one will be more oiled up and ready to go in its next start. Pick 4 for me, Terry. 3-4. With strong consideration of singling the 3, or tossing it out altogether. 2-3 with the 1-4-5-7 with the 1-5-7. And the reason why I say you toss out one that looks like it's going to be a prohibitive favorite, because if it doesn't win and your horse does win, you're going to see all those single tickets with that 3 just get eliminated from the pool. Best chance at a big payout.
Yep.
Christopher says in race number 4, he's going to go with the 2 horse, the Haney Boys, with the 2, 3, and 4 in there.
All right.
All right. So we got a few minutes before we head off to race number 2, right?
Yep.
All right. It means we have enough time, Terry, for us to tackle,
We
conquer,
do.
and find some winners in race number 5.
That's right. And it's a 1 mile. It originally was on the turf, but they've taken it off the turf. I think it's still a mile, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd still be a mile.
It's an optional claiming race for $25,000. And as you can see, that Fearless Christie, the 1 horse, was put in there for $25,000 claiming price.
Mhm.
And then the purse is $26,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less, which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000, and which have never won 2 races.
In case you didn't catch that the first time, that they
Yeah.
have to, they can't win 2 races.
That's right.
Yeah, double up on that. The condition writer needs to justify his or her pay. A bunch of scratches in this one, Terry.
Yeah.
A mile on the track, the dirt track, not the turf track, does favor early speed. 36% of the time, wire to wire. Only 4 horses in the field. Post position doesn't really matter, although So Fully Sue could get an advantage because the rail does exceptionally well at a mile. Terry, with only 4 horses in the field, not a lot to talk about, but it does look like the 3 horse has a couple of things working to its advantage.
Yeah, that's true. There's all of them show some speed, so I'm not really sure who's going to get there first. The only overlay I really see is that 3. It's an even money, and it's at 6-1 on the morning line. The 2, the 4, and the 8 show the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, the only one that looks like it might not like the way this race plays out is the 3 horse, which is one we both have on top. We might regret that.
Yeah.
In the race 5, 2 horse could be the one that sets the tone in here, Terry. Everybody else wants to close again. I don't think in a 4 horse field it's really going to matter much, but it does look like the 4 horse will be the one that takes the lead in here. So a little bit of left arrow action in a small field. But will it have the leg speed? I don't know that they'll run that fast early on. You'll probably try to control the tempo. If not, a Case of You and Social Lady, they have a good shot to outrun everybody down the stretch. And then finally, in the short field, your total pace, 3, 8, 2, 4, Terry. I think we almost ranked them in that order.
Yeah, that's true. This is, of course, only 4 horses. So in my picks, I've used most of them, or all of them, I mean. The 3 is my first pick, Social Lady. She ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race, switches to the high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 33% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. And she has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days has won 3 out of 10 starts with 5 seconds and 2/3. So been in the money 100% of the time. And it has a good workout on September 11th. Boy, look at all the boxes that she marks off. Number 2, So Fully Sue. She finished 3rd versus similar on the dirt in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 8 is my 3rd pick, A Case of You. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. Blueberry Pie is my long shot, the number 4. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. I'm just going to bet 2 to win and place on the number 3.
Yeah, the 3 horse in this race, Social Lady, top last race speed figure by 6 points over the next closest horse. So again, that 3-point spread we're looking for, it's doubling that one. Let's make its first start off a layoff. This is where maybe if you're going to try to beat it, you can get some hope because the performance first up is mixed bag. Some decent workouts. But the good thing about the workouts is the closer the horse is getting to the race, the better they're getting. So Fully Sue should be better in the second start after layoff. Did run a Z pattern. Potentially your pace setter in this mix. And the only 2 times this horse has run on the dirt has a win and a 3rd. Remember, it was scheduled for turf. A Case of You is drowning. Yeah, is down in class. Faster fractions and pace numbers through the first half mile. Craig Milkowski from Timeform US told us it's definitely a cue for a horse that's on the improve. Finally, someone's got to be 4th, Terry, so why not make it the 4? Blueberry Pie. The best race for this horse in its career came when it was close to the pace. Well, it's going to be close to the pace in a 4-horse field for sure. And if it's in the mix right away, look out. Might get the job done. No bets for me here, Terry, because I think that 3 horse has a pretty good shot of going off at like 1 to 5.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So
race number 2, about to get cooking. I think they're just waiting for a few to finish loading into the gate. The 3 horse, Systemic Risk, popping in the gate now. A few more to go. That 2 horse, Marion Grace. The 7 to 2 morning line, the bettors favor that one down right now to 6 to 5. A little bit of value still in that, though, Terry, because according to our odds, 4 to 5 is fair value. The 3 horse, the one that we think has a pretty good shot to get to the lead, maybe. Back-to-back 3s, the opening double with wire-to-wire types next up at 9 to 2. And looks like they're just waiting for Jezebel Jade to pop into the gate so that they can be fully loaded. Press the buzzer, open the gates, and let the dirt fly. Looks
there
like
we
they're
go.
set. They're all settled. And buzzer pressed. And they're off. And right now, a pretty clean start for most everybody. As projected, our 3-horse with the 70% chance to get to the lead is indeed on the lead. Got a little bit of about a length of advantage over the 6-horse, Emirates Affair. The 2-horse, the favorite, on the rail, working its way closer to the 2 front runners in there. Got a gap of about 1 horse to the next 4. The 5-horse, Collins Gray Lady, leading that quartet with the 1-horse, E.T.'s Moon Maiden, on the rail. The 7-horse, the jockey, asking Jezebel Jade to get into the action as they go through the opening quarter in 22.4 seconds. 3-horse continues to hold the lead with Emirates Affair, making sure that the horse is running honest fractions. 2-horse just looking for a place to go as the jockey on that one is asking him to go. He's going to have to go wide to clear everybody else. The 6-horse looks like it's going to make its way to the front. The 2-horse is trying to make up ground, but the 6-horse looks like it's going to be an easy winner in here, Terry. So your pick 4 goes. The 2-horse is going to finish second. It's going to go 6, 2, 3, and then 7. 6, 2, 3, or maybe the 7 is going to get in front of the 3. Yes, 6, 2, 7, 3. So once again, super effective for me, but didn't get into my pick 4. Terry's alive on his pick 4, and you probably hit your double too, right?
I did, yes.
So the 6-horse going off at 5-1. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
hell of a way
nice.
to start the pick 4.
Yeah, the double's going to pay for $2, $52.40, according to what it looks like here. But
so that's going to be what,
20,
52.40?
27 something.
Yeah, 27.20.
Yeah,
No, that would be
27.20.
27.20.
27.20. Get back a quarter of my money that I spent. So
yeah, and you got a nice big winner on the top there, Terry.
That's right.
So looking back here in race number 2, real quick, the 6-horse was Nagdeed, your third in terms of its, and there is that lone E status too. Got to the front, and that was it, right? Those lone E horses can get the job done.
That's right.
So 5, 6, 2, 7, and 3. 6, 2, 7, and 3. I think I'm just going to start boxing superfectas, Terry.
I think you do better when you do that, or at least when you box your trifectas. So,
all right, let's move on to race number 6. 6-1
Okay.
second at Parx. Indeed. Yes, Jared. Good to see you again, Jared. How are you, my friend? 49ers minus 10 on Thursday. I know you're trying to cozy up to Terry with that one there.
yeah, that was a really good game on Sunday, although the 49ers kept trying to give it to the Los Angeles team. But I was really in why they kicked that field goal right at the end there instead of trying for the touchdown, because I think they had to win by they had to lose by 7 points, and they did. If they had come with a touchdown, they might have got it, and then they would have covered the points. So I'm not real familiar with the type of betting, but anyway.
Yeah, I think their coaches are looking for the score, though. I don't think they're really paying attention in the NFL to the spread.
No, you're probably right about that, but there were a lot of people that complained. Anyway, this next race is...
Well, I think bettors complain all the time, Terry. That's like saying Wednesday follows Tuesday.
Oh, I agree. I complain constantly. And then the next day I look at the track that I played the day before and said, damn, I would have done better this day. Anyway, the 6th race today is a 6.5 furlong. It's a claiming race for $12,500 claiming price, $23,000 purse. It's for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Perfect. 6.5 furlongs. We talked about the profile of winner a few times. Early speed, about 30% going wire to wire. The rail is fair. 2 and 3, small bonus. 4 through 7 get discounted. 8 and out to play fair. If you're into the Philly Big 5, it starts in this race right here, Terry. In race number 6, you are looking for a little bit of pace again. And again, you got one that's probably going to set the tone early.
That's right. That 5 should get that corner pull first. And then the overlays, the 1 is like 5-2 versus 4-1 on the morning line. And the 7 is supposed to be even money versus 3-1 on the morning line. They all have good C-zone numbers except for the 3 and the 7.
Yeah, you got especially the 8-horse Mizzen Man, a class above everybody else on that C-zone score. Our 6 race pace, again, is pretty balanced here. You got 4 that want to be up on the front, although the 1 and the 6 have some versatility in their game. They don't need to be on the lead. The beauty for these two is if they go too fast, they can be patient. If they go too slow, they can take over. The 4-horse in here, WP Cadet, a lone PC. Whenever you see a lone PC horse, make sure you circle that in your past performances. Give it a second, third, fourth, fifth look for anything that gives a hint that the horse might be on its game today. And at the early speed in here, Terry, you do have a standout here in Aztec Legend, about 4 points better than everybody else. So maybe one length on the lead if you can get a clear break in there. Although looks like the late speed for that one might be an issue. It's not an issue for Mizzenman or WP Cadet, the lone PC type. So the 2, 3, and 7 not really showing up there on the closers list, but they do show up on the early pace list. So maybe some left arrow horses there. Our top total pace score in here, Terry, look at this. Minus the 3-horse, Where's the Passion? Any one of the other horses from a total pace standpoint can get the W. This looks like what I would call a wide open race.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open. I like the 7 Harley's Charlie as my first pick. He won his last race at Parx Racing. He has the best start speed among today's starters. And then WP Cadet 4 is my second pick. Won 2 races in a row, now going for a hat trip, and was claimed by a trainer, wins 33% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. Number 1 is my third pick. I am not sure how to say that word, so I'm not sure what happened.
Minx hips don't lie.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
you very much.
Shakira, right? Shakira. It's Shakira's hips don't lie, but it's Minx's hips that don't lie.
All right. Anyway, I'm not sure what happened in the last race. He finished in 7th place, but won the race before, so I'll ignore that race. He has a high percentage winning jockey. And number 8, Mizzenman, he ran second in his last race, earned the highest last speed rating. He's my long shot. I'm going to play a $2 win in place on number 7.
In the 6th race, I think 7-4, same start for me, Terry. Harley's Charlie, left arrow horse. Third up, usually the best of the 3 in the 3-race cycle. And I like the comment that they put, surged in his last. WP Cadet is that lone PC horse that we talked about in the pace setup in there. Won 2 in a row, including his last race, which was the first race at Parx, and he won going away 4 lengths, maybe a horse for the course. Number 5, Aztec Legend is a track dropper, catching a weight break. Strong chance to be on the lead. I like that combination a lot. Coming from a little better track, going to be towards the front, and that weight break should make the horse even a little bit faster and hold its stamina late in the race. Finally, the one Terry doesn't want to pronounce, Meek's hips don't lie. Drops in class after you mentioned, Terry. Just an absolutely terrible race. Does have a couple of maintenance workouts in between, so maybe straightening that horse out. And if the track remains good and doesn't go too fast, it does like a little moisture in the track. 6 times out, 3 wins with a second and a third. Trifecta 4, 5, 7 with the 4, 7 with the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in race number 6. On to lucky race number 7. Terry, what do we got?
All right. In this race, number 7 is a 6 furlongs, $40,000 claiming race. It's first $35,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since June 19th. Claiming races for $25,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
And to find the winner in terms of just biases, tactical speed does well, although, again, 36% of the time get to the front. So be towards the front, very helpful at 6 furlongs. Post positions 1 through 6 are fair, 1 through 7, excuse me, and 8 and out. They do get a little bit of a bonus. In race number 7, we don't get anybody 8 and out to score that bonus. The post positions are fair, Terry, but we are still looking for some speed.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of speed in here. The 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7 show some speed. And as far as the overlay goes, the 1 is a small overlay, 3-1 versus 7-2. The 5 is a little bit of an overlay. It's almost 5-2 versus 3-1 on the morning line. And the 7 is like 7-2 versus 5-1 on the morning line. The 2, 1, 5, and 4 all show best C-zone numbers.
Strong C-zone. Can we get any advantages from the pace setup? Look at this, Terry. We have, again, there's that lone PC horse. But this field doesn't really have a true burner up front. Everybody else kind of wants to let somebody else do the work. The 3 and the 7 closing. So I think in this race, without a true pace setter, you get towards the front. Maybe the confidence grows a little bit in here. It looks like one definitely going to get to the lead in real talk. About a length and a head faster than the next closest horse, Happy Bob or Rob the Rich. But again, this whole group in here pretty tightly mixed. 6 horse gets to the lead, 4 or 5 horses bunched up behind it. Let's see who of those 4 or 5 is going to make a big push at the end. Well, Gebert won't be one of those, but Rob the Rich should be right behind. So Rob the Rich with some strong late pace, forwardly placed, probably scoring out as your top total pace horse indeed by 5 points. In a pretty competitive race all the way down here. Even though that one's going to get to the front, maybe fades at the end because it doesn't really want to be the pace setter, Terry. What do you think?
All right. Well, I like the one Buffeed. He finished third versus Simmer. His last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, which is Paco Lopez, and has a high percentage winning trainer, which is Scott Lake. Gebert, the 3, is the second choice, likes Parx Racing. He's won 28% of his starts here and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Rob the Rich, because your name is Rich, is number 5, yes, and we're going to rob you. Yeah, he has finished in the money in 8 out of his last 10 starts, winning 2 of those races and running second versus Simmer in his last race. He has a high percentage, or highest last base speed rating.
And considering I live in Chicago, I mean, you shouldn't really wish that on me because there's a real strong chance you get robbed around here.
Yeah, I know. It's the same here if you go to certain places in the Bay Area. But anyway, I don't wish that on you, really. I'm just teasing you. Number 7 is my long shot easy day. He finished in the money in 9 out of 15 starts at Parx Racing. He won 6 of those races, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-3 with the 1-6 with the 1-6 and finish it up with the 3, 6, 7, and 8. $2 to win on the 1 and a $2 daily double 1 with the 6.
Cold double for Terry. Yeah. I see Christopher Souza likes the 4 horse Happy Farm, one that neither one of us has. So probably going to be regretful for that. Not only does he like the number 7, but he puts it as his best bet of the day. Happy Farm, Christopher's best bet of the day. And as Terry mentioned yesterday, Christopher puts that BB stamp on there. You better circle that one in your programs too.
Yeah. Sure?
I like the 5 horse in here. Rob the Rich. Yes, indeed. I'm going to go full Marxist today. Total top pace by 5 points. Like to see that. Top last race speed figure by 4 points. Like to see that. It's going to be better in its second race after a layoff. And I don't know because Kendrick Caramouche had another horse that was supposed to run today. It got scratched out. But as of the showtime, was his only mount for the day. So Kendrick going to make sure he can do everything he can do to get that horse across the finish line first. If he gets to the front, look out because Kendrick loves to be up there. Number 7, Easy Day, making its 3rd start after a layoff. And it is the only horse in this field, if you go back through the last 10 starts, to ever hit triple digits on the speed gun. Rerun that race, and this one is a laugher. Buffeed, your 1 horse Terry, never out of the money in 4 races with Paco Lopez, although each successive race, it does look like it's regressing a little bit. Some signs of rebound last time out because it was just a little bit better in the second half of its last outing and is, again that lone PC horse. Finally, Gebert. This one is a big-time closer, although when we saw in our pace numbers, I think it's probably going to be too far back to catch the winner, but could have a chance to hit the board 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th place for a superfecta. The quintessential 22-1 Tom horse. Going to win? Nah. In the money? Yes. All right. Let's see. Okay, Chris. He likes that one. So Jared coming along with Chris on the best bet in race number 7.
And I don't think we talked about Chris's 6th race. He likes the 1 win, place, and show, and he wants the exacta box and trifecta box 1, 8, and 4.
Perfect. Thank you for making sure we don't miss anything. I appreciate that, Terry, for sure. In the 8th race, we're going to go 3 races to go in race number 8. And the first of those 3 is another 6 for longer.
It is, and it's an optional claiming race of $40,000. Purse is $42,000. It's for fillies and 2-year-olds and which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $40,000 and which have never won 2 races.
Well, a lot of these horses haven't even run 2 races, so it's going to be hard for them to win 2 races. Terry.
It is.
And 6 furlongs, tactical speed, post positions are fair, except if you get an 8 or out, you get a little bit of a bonus. But get to the lead, really good shot to go wire to wire in race number 8, Terry. Limited data to work with, but with the limited data that we have, it does look like the 1 horse and the 3 horse are going to be blasting out of the gates.
That's right. As you said, that one shows the most speed, really, with the three. If there's no problems, then the one should get there. If there is, the three should get there. The overlays is the one shows a small overlay from 3-1 to 4-1 in the morning line. The three goes from even money to 3-1 in the morning line, and the five goes a little bit of a overlay of about 5-2 versus 7-2 in the morning line. The 2, 4, 6, and 5 show the most CZO numbers.
Yeah, they're the ones that like the pace setup in this race of babies. Yeah, here we go. Lone P horse in here, Terry. Ballotin in between the speed and the closers. These young babies don't get the lead. You might get a little bit discouraged. So the 1, 2, and 4, you're going to want the speed of the speed in all likely with the babies. And that one is Do It. You're going to have a little bit of an advantage over the 3 horse. First Joke. Who doesn't mind coming from off the pace? So First Joke moving up here, a little left arrow action. Except for Made Birdie, everybody in here has got a real good crack to be forwardly placed. Should put a little bit of emphasis on the end of the race. And if there is some emphasis on the end of the race, First Joke won't be will make everyone who didn't bet him pretty upset. But Ballotin, another one up front with a strong late pace. As far as our total pace is concerned, you have the 3, the 1, the 5. So the 3 odd horses grading out much better than the 3 even horses, Terry. So maybe just box the odd horses in race number 8, and you got yourself an exacta or trifecta. What do you think?
Well, I'm going for kind of a long shot, that 6. It didn't have really good numbers that you just referred to. Made Birdie, but she won her last race at Monmouth Park by closing at 5 furlongs. So stretching out 6 furlongs should be just the ticket she needs. And she just keeps improving every single race. So I think she's going to be kind of she's my best bet of the day, tell you the truth.
The 6 horse?
That's right.
All right.
Number
nice
1.
odds too. Hope that one comes home for you. Sort of.
I do too.
Not really.
Number 1, Do It. She won her last race at Parx Racing. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with the 5, Valianton. She won her last race at Delaware Park, has a high percentage winning trainer, and earned the highest with last speed rating. Kiss for Luck, the 2, is my long shot. I'm going to ignore that last race, as she had a lot of trouble in that race. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play $10 to win on number 6.
The 3 horse First Joke, Terry, last time out ran for a $106,000 non-graded stakes race. That was on the turf at Monmouth Park. Didn't like it. If it can just run back to its debut, which was a easy win, if it runs back to that win, that debut will have another easy win. Number 1, Do It. It could be your pace setter. It did tie for the top last race speed figure with the 5 horse. Both of those 5 points clear of everybody else, but still far away from what the 3 horse produced in his first race. Ballotin is the other to get that 5-point advantage. Does ship in from Delaware. Does have a maintenance workout after that strong effort. Finally, number 2, Kiss for Luck, won her debut at Parx. Then they try to bite off a lot. Tried a grade 3 at Saratoga, and then a $204,000 non-graded stakes at Monmouth. So this should be some class relief that the 2 horse Kiss for Luck enjoys. I overbet. Terry said, I got this text. You're $8 over. Cut it now, or you are forever banned from the show. So I cut out my bet on this one.
All right.
Off to race number 9, the first of the last 2 for the late daily double, Terry. Tell us about this one that got pulled off the turf.
All right. Yeah, originally it was the turf, so now it's what, a mile?
Yeah, it'd be a mile. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it's allowance race, $41,000 allowance price. Purse $41,000 for registered Pennsylvania-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a Pennsylvania restricted race or races other than maiden, claiming, or starter.
So as you mentioned, Terry, they're going to take this one off the turf. They're going to run a mile in the wet dirt. Well, the sun's out, so I wouldn't be surprised if the fast rating gets put onto the track by the time they get to this one. 1 mile on the track, on the dirt, early speed, 36% of the time. Get the lead, keep the lead, get the big check. There's a rail bonus, so Getaway Palace could benefit. Inside out bias altogether, so the closer you are to the rail, to the better at 1 mile. So you're looking for inside speed at a mile at Parx, Terry. Race number 9, you got a quartet of scratches. but not really impacting the way this race gets started.
Yeah, there is some inside speed here with the 2 and the 1, but the 11 shows the most speed on that outside. So I think if the 11 can get a good break, it might just go to the front. The 1 shows a little bit of an overlay. It's supposed to be 9-2 versus 6-1 on the morning line, and they all show decent C zone numbers.
Yeah, with the scratches kind of really changed maybe a little bit of the shape of that race in terms of the pace. Again, you got everybody wants to be forwardly placed. Here we find that lone E, like we saw with that 6 horse in race number 2, although the 6 didn't get the lead, but he did burst to the lead on the backstretch there. You got the 1, the 2, and the 11. They don't need the lead, so you got a lot of versatility in this race with nothing but EPs and PCs. So really wide open from a tactical standpoint. As far as the early pace is concerned, it does look, Terry, like this one's going to be pretty competitive early on, except Coach has 6 aces. Going to have a lot of speed to the inside to clear. Might be a difficult task, although Paco Lopez, I think, could be up for it. As far as the late speed is concerned, you got the 4 and the 6, Turing Marianne and Pageant Princess. 10 points better than the next crew. Going to be right in the mix right out of the gate, except for maybe Coach has 6 aces. This one should grade out as a competitive race in here. It does indeed, again, Terry. Maybe the 1, 7, and the 10, maybe a little overmatched in here, Terry, but I think we both like the 1 horse for some reason. What were we thinking?
Yeah, I like Getaway Palace as my first choice. She won 2 out of her last 3 races and drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 6, Pageant Princess. She's finished in the money in 4 out of 6 starts and has a high percentage winning trainer. Turing Marianne, the 4, ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 2 as my long shot, Moon Boots. She switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has a bullet workout on August 9th. I'm going to play $2 to win and place on the 1.
I'm going to start off with Getaway Palace too. I don't know why, Terry. Looking at that, the pace says it's going to be a little bit overmatched, but perhaps some of those numbers skewed because last time it ran in a $100,000 non-graded stakes race. It didn't look too good on paper. But if you dig through the numbers, you'll see that the race internals improved from the prior start, from the beginning to the middle to the end. Coach has 6 aces. This is an all or nothing horse. They're actually my favorite horses to bet, Terry, because if they're in the nothing phase, the bettors will tend to overlook them. 11 races, 4 wins. It won the last 2 races. And interestingly, that's when Paco Lopez rode. It's the only 2 races he rode. He's back on again for a horse that can get to the lead. You know that he'll give it a good ride at Parx. Number 6, Pageant Princess, 3rd up after a layoff. It's made a 3-race cycle 2 other times, and in both cases, the 3rd was the best of the trio. Kathleen Demasi in the 3rd race after a layoff, small alpha. She normally wins at 21%, but her horse is making a 3rd start after the break, win at 24%. Finally, Turing Mariana has a 2 times out on a off track. Probably not going to be off by the time they get to this level with a win and a 2nd. I'm really not a big fan of Penn Shippers, where this one's coming in from, where it has shown some good form, but does have some Parx back class. Again, I got the ruler to the knuckles. The bet that I had here, I had to take off to get under my $100 budget.
And Jared says, Rob the Rich, come on, you must play that namesake. And then Christopher, we didn't talk about, he likes in the 8th race the 2 with the 2-1-3 and exacta try box. And in the 9th race, Christopher likes the number 2 with the 2-1-7 exacta box. So there you go.
So now we can move off to race number 10. Perhaps we can run through this one really quickly, Terry. So let's give number 10 at least get it prepped before race number 3 gets started.
All right, 6 furlongs, claiming $7,500 price, first 20,000, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races or won a race since June 19th.
Again, 6 furlongs, tactical speed. Typically, 36% go wire to wire. Post positions are fair 1 through 7, 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. In race number 10, Terry, we do have 8 and out. So you do got Osprey and Hide the Ransom, perhaps a little bit of a tactical edge post position wise, but all the speed for the most part belongs to the horse to the inside of those 2.
That's right. That 7 shows lots of speed, so the rest of them are going to have to put jetpacks on to catch it. And then this
5, one's really my namesake, Jared.
He's incredible. That's right. The 5 is an overlay of 3.5 to 1 versus 5 to 1 in the morning line, and that 8 horse goes from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. All the 7, 8, and 4 show the best C-zone numbers.
Gotta like this combination of a horse that wants to get to the lead and will be comfortable getting to the lead. Our pace setup, will the 7 actually be the one that wants to get out there? He does fit in there. You do have a lone P horse in here, Small Reason, so one you want to keep an eye on. But with most of these horses wanting to come from off the back, I'm looking for a horse that has some early speed, going to be involved early. And that is going to be your 1 and 7. Those two should be the ones that want to set the tone early on. Late speed in here belongs to He Hate Me, coming from the USFL fame. Osprey being right behind. Those two grade out a little bit better than everybody else in here. Our total pace winner in here, Terry, is the 8 horse Osprey. With Small Reason, He Hate Me. Well, you got maybe you can cross out the 2 and the 3. Everybody else with a pretty good shot to win this race, Terry. If you go fast, we might be able to get through your picks because they haven't started loading yet. So go quick.
Number 6, He Ate Me. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race. Drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 8, OXP ran 2nd versus Similar in his last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. He's incredible. Has won 40% of his starts at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey. 3rd pick, Long Shot. Number 3 has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 19% of the claiming races. He has an entry in on to play $2 win and place on number 6.
Beautiful. That was about as fast as you can go. Let me see if I can do better. He's incredible. The 7 horse, better against across the board last time out with major mid-race pop. Lowest level in its last 10 races. He Hate Me, consistent performer, down multiple classes. That's a 33% angle for trainer Jamie Ness. He wins there all the time anyway, but still better than his normal 25%. Small Reason, the 1 horse, is a track jobber, a class dropper. Kent Sweezy, the trainer's only entered 1 at Park so far. That horse won. This is a second off the claim for Kent, 23% angle versus 14%, another alpha angle. Finally, Osprey, the 8 horse, top total pace, top last race speed figure. Although this one's making its first start off the bench, spotty record in that case, and only 1 workout since that last race, at least published anyway, last race on July 7th. 7-6-1-8, again, bloody knuckles for me because of Terry's ruler, no bet. We're about to get started on race number 3. So let's take a look at what's cooking here. And they're off in race number 3, Terry. Right now, the 1 horse, the one that we suspected would have a good shot, is indeed the Goddess of Snakes, is the Goddess of Leads right now. Jockey looking back to see if he's gotten any traffic. The 4 horse and the 6 horse, the long shot there, Spicer's Gold, in second place right now with the 4 horse at 4-2. In third place, the Goddess of Snakes, about a 1-length lead over the other 2 horses. A little bit quick, I think, there in the opening half for a mile of 23-2. Might want to slow it down a bit there. Dexter Haddock, the 4 horse, now has moved its way into second place, getting ahead of that 15-1. So touring Marianne right on the heels of the Goddess of Snakes. And then a little bit of backing up action from the 6 horse, Spicer Gold. You got the 2, the 3, and the 5 lined up across the board, about 3-4 lengths off the 1 horse. None of them are really making an advance at all on the 1. The jockey hasn't asked anything, Dexter, out of it. 4 horse is starting to close some ground. It looks like of the horses in the back, the 2 horse right now is moving the best. But none of them are really moving all that fast. This looks like the 1 horse, Terry, is going to continue to stay up on the lead there. The 4 horse is really pushing up. See if he can get to the W so Terry's pick 4 can stay alive. The 1 horse kind of drifting out a little bit. The jockey looking back to see if indeed his horse has any more horse. 5 horse is coming into contention. Or no, is that the 2 horse maybe? Yeah, the 2 horse. But this one is the 1 horse in a romp. Won a runaway win there, Terry. And then as they come down the stretch here, the only question is who's going to finish third? Is it going to be the 4? Is it going to be the 2? Yes. 1, 4, 2, 6. 1, 4, 2, and 6. And I don't get the 2 in the back end of my trifecta. And that unfortunately screws up your pick 4, right?
It certainly does.
Yes, indeed, unfortunately. All right, so there you go, the 1 horse. And I think the trend that we see, Scott asked the question early on, Terry, how do we look at the races when the track is a little bit wet? Race number 10, Christopher D'Souza says, by then it'll be more, I think, fast. But the 7 horse with the 8-1 in his exacta trifecta boxes to close out race number 10. Speed, and more speed today, Terry, has been the pace, and that's the way it was yesterday too.
That's right. Absolutely.
Here are our full picks for the day at Parx. You have I think who won the first race, Terry? Again, was it the
The first
4-horse?
race was won by the 3-horse.
The 3-horse was your first race winner, and race number 2 was the 6.
Yep.
Race number 3, it was the 1-horse. And then now we're off to race number 4. We'll see how the rest of that day plays out. Again, today, if you're playing Horseshoe Indianapolis, there is a link down in the description below, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Cha-Cha Larry has a good shot at 9-5 to be your winner, although you got a little price there in the 3-horse Forever Lasting. So if you want to play price horses, maybe Forever Lasting is the play. To get all of them, there's a link down in the description below here on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are joining us. And then finally, Terry, again, this Saturday, we will have the Pennsylvania Derby wagering guide up probably by Thursday or Friday over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Make sure you head on over there and collect that. Any final thoughts before you and I come back for?
Well, I just want to say that Christopher said, boom, boom, exacta 1-4.
But I thought you needed 30-1, Chris, to get the boom boom. Or exactas or boom booms and trifectas or boom boom booms.
I think he's had 2 exactas or today so far. That's why it's 2 booms. I don't know.
All right. So. Well, hey, collecting money. That's the name of the game. So hopefully you collected some money on the double. It's my turn to collect some money for the rest of the day here for sure, Terry.
That's
Tomorrow
right.
We'll try our luck at Churchill Downs as they'll get started at 12:45 p.m. Eastern. Terry and I will start at the bottom of the hour, 11:30, as we run through the Churchill Downs card on myself and Charles, maybe. If Charles can make it, we'll do Belmont at the Big A, which should just be called Aqueduct. I don't know why they goof around with that
I don't know why they do it either. It's confusing. So
yeah, and it screws up all the back end of our databases too. I can't stand that either. All right, Terry, race 3, number 1, Speed and Close. Remember that. Christopher D'Souza on the race 3. Boom with the 1-horse. Any final thoughts, Terry, before you and I get out of here on this terrific Terry Tuesday?
Yeah, just everybody be safe. Have a great rest of the day. Give your loved ones and friends a big hugs and kisses, and watch out for the nasty weather that's been going on.
Well, no matter what you're doing, whether you have good weather, bad weather, or something in between, we certainly hope that you have all of God's blessings. Until we get together again tomorrow for Churchill Downs, we hope that every single thing that you do gets a boom and ends up in the
boom, boom, boom winner circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us again. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.